Hey guys, Basil and Wolf from Grayson Hobby, and today we have another review on a new quad from SPC Maker.
So we hinted at this the other day. You guys wanted to see the video on it. This is the SPC Maker.
Whale tail.
Mini whale.
Mini whale.
We quit carrying SPC Maker in the past because there was just things that we couldn't get resolved, issues and all that, and the product was doing some weird stuff. Has SPC come back from that or not? Let's find out.
We'll find out here after we review it, so stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, Grayson Hobby is a shop located outside of Atlanta, Georgia, where we sell and ship out quads and airplanes and drone parts and everything of sorts. Everything you see on our website is located here in our good old USA warehouse right outside of Atlanta. Oh my gosh, that is already, oh my lord, that's already getting so hot. Wait, it just reset.
Well, there's your review, folks. I don't know if you want me to do that.
It's got like 2 reboots.
Yeah, I can't even find a channel either.
There goes another reboot. Just like lower and quieter. Just for the record, they sent this free of charge for us to review and to carry in our store. Current situation: the quad will not arm, it gets overheating.
Had one flight on this thing prior. Everything came down pretty warm. It doesn't work now.
But just when you plugged it in, that got so hot.
Yeah, but there's no cooling for it.
I mean, it's just like the plastic is, it feels like it's gonna want to be
soft. Yeah, I mean, I see no shorts anywhere, anything like that. It's just getting...
And you flew it and you didn't have any issues with it before, right?
No, it did give me a thermal temperature
shutdown.
or something like that, and so it's saying it was temperature was too high at once, and
now it's just giving that repeated reboot sound. And matter of fact, when you plugged your goggles in a minute ago,
we're not even in a video channel or anything, so it's actually overheating sitting there. This is exactly what the Lizard 95s did back in the day.
I mean, I could see it sitting there for 20 minutes or so. I mean, you literally plug the battery in, turn on the radio, turn your goggles on, and overheat. So now, what are you gonna try to do now?
Well, it could be a case, I want to say the VTX pad on the flight controller has a VBAT and a 5-volt option. They may have very well have just made it to run VBAT, which on 3 cell is way too high. So it could be overheating the VTX because that could be just an assembly issue. I mean, the boards did come blank, so there's no telling on that. I don't know.
Okay, it's run.
Yeah,
run. Go.
Give it a go. The whole, like, the wires are pushed up against the SD card. So basically the clicking is like not there every time.
Yeah.
They really need to raise that stack. They need to put a shim under that stack, just even a 1mm, 2mm, something like that, just to bring that. They have enough height room in there. They really need to bring that up because those wires are rubbing on that SD card.
So the SD card is not fully inserted.
It's in there, but you can. The click is very faint.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Let's seal that.
So that battery's hot?
Well, surprisingly, that is not very hot.
Yeah, actually the VTX is cool now. It needs to get airflow. It's getting airflow from there. The motors are fine.
All right.
That battery was stressed pretty hard.
This one is, you can feel the shrink is just tighter now. This sucker is hot.
Flying, very floaty feeling. Again, we haven't even checked the weight, so we'll go back and check that at the end. But I'm gonna grab like a 500-ish pack. The Mini Whale HD. It's a 2 to 3 cell quad, not 4 cell, 2 to 3 cell. It's running an F4 micro flight controller, 12 amp 4-in-1 ESC, 0 to 25 100 milliwatt VTX. It's running 1103 10,000 kV motors. The cool thing about this one, actually, it does have the capability to put screws into the motors too.
Oh.
So that's running a Runcam Split Mini version 2. So it has HD recording in there. It's running 40mm props. So these are the Gem Fan 1635 props. So they're 40mm props.
And those are the 4-blade ones.
Yes, these are 4-blade. They claim it weighs about 60 grams without a receiver or battery. I have not checked that yet, so we'll have to go over that with the scale.
And let's go check it out.
Oh, I did lose a prop though.
We talked about this being a screw-on prop.
So, in that crash, I did manage to spin off a prop. Let's check the temperature and everything.
How's that VTX? The VTX is cold now.
Yeah, so the stagnant temperature is killing the VTX, but once it gets airflow, it's fine. So it definitely needs cooling. The VTX is right up against that body, so it's not getting any heat dissipation. So really it does need some vent holes or something like that, I would think.
We can't find that prop. If you haven't heard, Will wants to stay on 25 milliwatt so it doesn't overheat it. So we're limited, and today's only got to be low 80s, upper 70s, and actually now it's probably going to be the mid 70s. It's a gorgeous day to fly, crappy day to have problems on a quad that looked pretty good. No, we don't feel so bad breaking it apart because the video quality was probably the worst one I've flown in a long time.
Well, this is the actual video, other than having a little more breakup or the sun was in the camera lens, it was just like the Rex 80. Flown it, now that we beat it up. Durability wise, I mean, I didn't hit it that hard into anything, but I didn't break anything. A Mobula 7 would have been broken with some of those impacts, to be honest. Again, not a fan of it. 4 screws maybe? 2, because I have a feeling that... So here's what I'm thinking. If you look at this chart here, I have a funny feeling that they did something with the VTX. The VTX power is all in here. You got VCC, ground, smart audio, video. You can either do 5V or VBAT for the VTX. So you have these two here, and you solder either bridge here or bridge these two, so either the outer two or the inner two, and I'll select the voltage. I have a feeling that they're running too much power to the VTX. If not, then I have no idea what's wrong with this thing. Oh, the VTX just floats in there. It's not even soldered. Right. I thought it was mounted. It's literally just kind of sitting up in there, and the only thing holding it in place is that. Oh no, it's running 5V. They are running 5V. Wow, that just sucks. So yeah, this is the same electronics as SpeedX. So it's suffering from the same 5V noise, go figure, because it's the same freaking flight controller.
You're disappointed what you found, because you're hoping
I was really hoping this one was going to be just a awesome out of the box going, because it looked so good.
Frame's so cool.
Yeah, the materials they use feel great. I like the way it's bolt on, giving problems, and that's something that SPC we had in the past. I think there's hope for it, but
this didn't come with any kind of beta flight, right? Or
it was just a generic flash. It wasn't configured or anything like that.
So what does that mean to the person who's new to this?
Basically it means a blank quad that's not going to fly out of the box with very little setup.
No, did this one have a setup?
Yeah, that one was set.
This is a pre-production model. We don't know if they're going to come like that. I did contact them. They kind of just ignored the question, and they sent me different colors pictures.
Worst case scenario, this is a quad where you'd have to do a CLI dump on it before you configure it. So.
I can actually squeeze these pretty easy, these ducts, but here, there's no way I'm going to squeeze that. They're not going to.
That's where SPC Maker may have figured out the formula for durable prop guards.
Yeah, so
they're pretty nice.
They're really rock solid. They're really, that may be a good thing or maybe a bad thing, because usually when stuff doesn't move, well, guess what happens? It breaks.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you break the frames, usually it's a guard. So this one, and like having to take the whole quad apart, you're able to literally replace just a single individual guard.
So if you crack one of these whoops, you have to replace the whole frame, right?
Well, I mean, you don't have to.
Right, but you have to replace one of these ducts. You have to replace the same thing with
a unibody. It's a unibody. Right. This one is a separate run. It's got a main frame. It's a carbon fiber main frame.
So these are
and it uses 3 little small screws per guard to secure the guard on. Okay. So the motor's held on to the guard, and the guard's held onto the frame. So it's a little different there, but it makes it to where you can change individual corners of it versus the entire frame, taking the whole thing apart, which can get kind of tedious on these micros.
Right.
Did tell SPC Maker they may want to put some slits or holes in the top of the frame.
So if you see this guy, he has several slits up front. He's got like about 4
Kinda
to
cooling,
5
yeah.
on each side, looking cooling vents, and also the bottom.
Yeah,
and
basically I think this one could benefit from somewhere to dissipate the heat, because where the VTX is sitting, which is right under this blue canopy right here, it's building up a lot of heat and it has nowhere to go. So when it was sitting on the table, because the VTX powers up with USB as well, sitting on the table and all that, setting it up, by the time I got to figure to set it up, I went to go fly it. I was like, why is this thing not working? It was burning hot.
So in conclusion, this will be our last review ever of SPC Maker.
Not necessarily, not necessarily.
We carried SPC Maker in the past. A lot of you guys are asking about,
What happened? Yeah.
Right. This is what happened. They have a great concept, a great idea, but when it comes to...
In its defense, it could be a one-off. It could be a bad component. We've had it before with other companies. So I really don't want to fault it just yet. I'm going to mess with it a little more. All right, so we got it back together here. I moved the VTX around a little bit to get it more out from under the canopy. After being powered up, it ran a little bit cooler. It's not getting as hot. Definitely think it needs some cooling holes in this if it's going to be buried up in there. Or it could have possibly been grounding to the case or something.
We had it on for about a minute and it didn't get hot.
Near as hot. And the video didn't go out. It didn't give me a core temperature warning or anything like that.
It didn't reboot several times.
Yeah, the flight stack sits too low. They need to shim it up a little bit higher to get more clearance for the wires, for the SD card and all that. That's one problem there. The VTX is clearly overheating on this design because the body is, there's no ventilation in the cap for it. So that's another flaw there. Noise in the video. That was the other thing. Sorry, that's the third strike. I think there's hope for it, but I think right now it might not necessarily be a finished product at this time. So hopefully SPC will take some consideration, listen a little bit, maybe release a revised edition of it, or it's got some fixes done to it. Who knows? Right now, I'm going to say unless this change is made and other stuff, I'm going to say this is a pass. I would hate this to be in a customer's hands with the problems it's having right now. You won't see this in stock at GraysonHobby.com anytime soon.
So, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, and hopefully that did something for you.